Finally means whether the catch has been executed or not, but final statement, what it is doing, that has to be specified by this final keyword. I'll show you one example. You will feel it in a better way. Basically, types of exceptions are two types, unchecked and checked. Unchecked means I did not find the exception what is there in the block. Checked means I could find it. So in both the cases, whatever the situation be, whether it is checked or unchecked, I have to write the exception code for it and I have to resolve it. So how to write that? First, I'll explain that the try-catch methodologies. Later on, yes, these are the list of, please go through with the list. Unchecked exceptions and checked exceptions. This list is important for you for the short answer, right? Please look at the try block and the catch block. To catch an exception, they might be encountered within a block code. The following is the procedure for your Java program. The code that might throw an exception should put inside the try. Ante, whatever the error you want to throw it, I have to play that in the try block. Whatever I want to handle, I have to use it in the catch block. Whatever the catch is absent or it is unable to execute, the finally method will execute and will represent that. That is the end of your exception. The general syntax of the try catch has start try block, then close it, then catch. The catch could be as many catches as you can. For single try, there could be as many catches as you can. After the catch, you should write the final. Like that, nested try also can be there. Multiple catches also can be there. With throw and throws. Throw means single exception, it is throwing. Throws means multiple exceptions, it throws. Final block, which will be executed even though the catch is executed or not, but the final method will get executed. Once you are into the try block, whether the exception has been raised or not, it could catched or not, it is least bother. Whatever the statements are there in the final block, they'll get executed. So for example, look at the small simple program, which is by the name class test. And in the main method, I've written only try block. Arithmetic exception. What catch is doing? Null pointer exception. What final is doing? That is the end of the code. Actually, this chained exception is not that much important, but still one exception is getting connected to the other exception. That means one exception is tending to generate another exception for the same code. If you perform division, it is getting into some arithmetic misplace or some leading to unfiled value or getting an abnormal value. Such kind of things are the chained exception. And moreover, exceptions always should be handled by this try, catch, and throw. Just basic definition with one example is enough for the exception handling. We are yet to move to the next topic, that is Java collections, AWT, JDBC. That is very, very important. So I'm looking into that collection format and all. So Java has so many things to be there in it, which will be helpful for our applications and for our apps development and all. What are those things we are going to get into? So Java has that collection framework. What is meant by collection means it is a base of some interfaces. Some interfaces will be there. With that, I'll be performing certain subroutines. So what are those some of important interfaces that are there in the java.util? Please look at them. Iteratable means interfaces are included with the collection. Collection, comparator, enumeration, list, observer, random access, set, iterator. These are the some of the interfaces which have been specified in the java.util.package. And what this collection framework will be doing means it acts like not only simple function, it performs more than multiple activities for it. So here collection. It not only contains one single part, all the parts related to that particular thing, it will be collected under one framework. For example, if you want to develop a application, what all the things are there? Some text fields will be there, some radio buttons will be there, some list buttons will be there, some text area will be there. So different kinds of things you are getting collected under one single form. That is known as your framework. Under collection framework, we are having different components related to each work, and they are declared within the brackets, that is less than greater than symbol. They are called gulmets. Okay. Boolean add adds an object to the collection. Boolean add all adds all element to the collection. Void clear, it removes all the elements which have been cleared under it. Boolean contains true or false about the object, whether the object is created or is it alive or is it is used or did I destroy it by using the free method. Boolean is empty, returns no object in the collection. Iterator returns an iterative object. Boolean means removes the given object if exists. Size returns the number of objects in the collection. Always remember this. Collection means it's not only deals with single points related to one simple task, it deals with all kinds of attributes and functions. Previously, we have seen collection, no? Now list. For list, what are the methods are there? What is its description? Please go through with it. Other classes in the java.util. The thing what is required here is always a Java container is required where it contains not only interfaces and methods, they are interlinked, and how it is getting performed, we also have to note it down. Yes, here is one example program related to the collection class, related to the array object. What it is doing means dynamically creates an array of certain types under the collection method. That means under the collection interface, we are having adding of the elements, then displaying them, then removing them. How to display them? By using system.out.println. And how to remove them? Object name dot remove method will delete the particular array in your list. So, for example, For an instance, I took the array size as 4. So I took all the contents of it. Then I have printed it according to the vector display. Right? This is one of the example for it, that is hash map, array case, how much elements you are reading, how many elements you are printing, how they are getting stored. Sorting using the arrays, we are having different sorting techniques now. Among them, one they have been implemented and they have been sorted. The main concept here is JDBC map, Java database connectivity. Always remember one thing, database should get connected to your application form. For example, you have entered some details about you. It has to be stored in the website. Now, how they will be stored? They will be stored in the database. How you will be getting back the database means from the JDBC drivers. If you write the query, you will return back those fields what have been stored them. And here, I think you have learned something about the databases, DBMS, right? In that, rollback means it moves to the previous query from where it got affected. So, application programming interface. Small example I'll tell you. When you want to apply for a post, what you will do? You'll go to the website, you look at the notification form, and you'll go to the application form to fill all the details, right? You will enter your name, date of birth, educational details, so and so and all. Finally, you will be clicking on submit button. Then this application form is made up of HTML and JavaScript will get turned into the database connectivity where they has to be stored into the table. From the table, using this database connectivity, they'll be stored all those values, whatever you are inputting into your application form, those will be stored into that table. Once they have been got updated into the table, whenever you are pressing the input credential to the application form, the required information will be retrieved from the table. So there will be a connection between the JDBC and the ODBC drivers, which are used for your database to interact with your coding by using JavaScript. So here, always remember one thing, JDBC, ODBC is a bridge, like open database connectivity with the Java database connectivity. Then native driver, that means the drivers which are there in our system, network protocol driver. Then third driver. This recites the Java code only, third driver. That is, it supports the JDBC code. That means it supports the JavaScript, which will be leading into it. So type 4 driver is the latest one, which is used for the explanation or execution of the further JavaScripts. So JDBC structure, Java applications that connect to the database will be using JDBC API, application program interface, and registers the drivers into the corresponding databases when the user supplies the input credentials to the driver. Are you able to follow me? So here your Java application, that means whatever the application form you are getting, that is what then after JDBC API, your API, application program interface, will take the input credentials from your application form. They are lead to the JDBC driver manager. Under that, by using the application query, you will be retrieving your personal details. And we usually use MySQL JDBC drivers. Okay. One second, please go through with this diagram. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma. Have you gone through with the structure of your JDBC? Now, please look at the internal drivers or internal what it is happening. What are the particular words there in this JDBC? We'll just look at here. Driver manager. This class manages the list of database drivers. What are the different drivers are used? What is the database connectivity? How they are getting connected? Those things will be explained by this driver manager. Under the drivers, we need to handle about the communication between the database and the code. Connection, we need to establish among them the connection. Then the statement, SQL statements, in order to retrieve the values back to the person or the end user, we need to write the statement, SQL statements for it. Result and set. Once you write the code, what are the required result or the required format, I should retrieve it back. Then if there is an exceptions arised in this code, JavaScript, it will be handled by the SQL exception. Before going to the execution part of this JDBC drivers, one second. Yes, we need to install the JDBC drivers and we need to set the path for it. So in order to install it, we need to have MySQL in our system. So this is what the website where we can find the MySQL software. And please, we need to set the path for it. So these are the basic steps to use the JDBC drivers. So please look at the steps properly. Import the required classes into your method. Register the drivers with the driver manager. Then get a connection with the manager. Create a statement. That means create the table first. Create the table. Input the values. Execute the SQL statement. Process the result. Close the resources. For example, first import the SQL statement into your code. Then try to give certain inputs to your SQL statement. Once you get the connection by using user and password, try to select the name and execute it. Once you finish it, please close the connection. Right? So this is how we are getting executed. So under the MySQL, please create the database MyLab. The values will be given from the user itself. We need to create the values how you have done in your DBMS. Insert value so and so into your table. Like that you need to insert. Once you finish the insertion, you are proposed to execute it. That means you are proposed to evaluate it whether they are getting stored properly or not. So how we are going to evaluate them? By using the password and ID. And retrieve them back with certain steps. Please go through with the steps. Please note down the steps. This is very, very important. Import the required classes. Yes. Are you able to follow the steps? Please make a note of it. This is what the implementation of your JDBC drivers. While you are getting a practice lab for it, try to implement this. So before implementing JDBC, you need to install the JDBC drivers and SQL server into your system and then set the path for it. Okay. What is meant by metadata? Data about data is known as your metadata. We always take it as a resultant data is known as your metadata in any programming language. Always we concentrate upon resultant metadata. That means what it returns at the end. Are we getting the number of candidates in the database, or we are getting certain elements about the individual persons? So here we have written a method by using the concept of resultant set metadata. In the main method, we have taken so-and-so is the driver, so-and-so is the URL, uname, password, SQL. SQL, what I've done, select star from test. That means I want to select all the attributes. That means all the values from the test, including all the rows and columns. So under the try, I'm writing the class name driver. I'm establishing a connection for the device manager to the driver manager. That means establishing a connection with your code with the database. Then the statement, then the resultant metadata should get attached to it until it finds all the rows and columns. It should keep on printing. Once the resultant is getting printed, now we should close the connection. Right? Please go through with this code once. Yes. The next one is again a code related to the JDBC. It's another example to it. You go through with it. Next one is transaction management in the database. What is meant by transaction? A flow of tasks, right? So here, how it get connected with the SQL, how the transaction has been done. If in between we are in the transaction, we should go back to the first step. For example, I just want to transfer certain amount to some X account. From my account to some X account, I just want to transfer certain amounts. But while my transaction is going on, due to some disturbance in my network, I couldn't transfer it. That means the amount is debited from me, but it is not credited into the X account. Is the transaction was complete? No. So in order to complete the transaction, due to some error in it, I have to roll back. What I have to roll back? The debited amount should credit back to my account. Again, I should start the transaction. Are you getting my words? If I am middle of the work, it is not yet completed. I have to stop there and start back from the starting of my work. I should not go to the starting. I should go only to the step where that work have been started. Okay, this is what the rollback methodology in the DBMS. The same thing will follow it for the execution of your JDBC. So for example, a transaction model inserts two records into the table, right? Two records means two rows have been updated, and then ask the user for confirmation, whether those two are enough or not. If you say no, something goes wrong. That means you need to have some more things to be added. If you say yes, it's commits and it saves it for you. If you say no, that something went wrong. So note now, the MySQL supports many types of database engines. So among them, we'll be using MySQL from my side. So in this example, I have just taken the connection and I've supported two things to be get updated, Lata and Amar, with so and so values into it. If I say commit yes, they'll be automatically saved. If I say no, they'll have to be rollbacked to the top of it. If I say yes, the connection will get committed and the system will be saved with the updated information. If I said no, it has to roll back to the previous table. It should not get updated. It has to go to the previous thing. That means previously what are the values are there, with that only it has to be there. It should not get updated. That is what automatic commit then. Automatically it will come out of it. Right? So overall, what is meant by JDBC means Java Database Management Connectivity. We are connecting database with the Java code. That means JavaScript is getting connected with the databases. Mostly we will be using Java with the 14 version and database with the MySQL. Okay. Are you comfortable up till here? I'm a bit fast, but still due to time shortage, I was like this. Okay. Today we have discussed about exception handling, collection framework, followed with the JDBC. Three major topics we have done. Next we are into the event handling. Event handling. What is meant by event? An action. When an action has been occurred, it should give some statement to you. For example, mouse is one event. Mouse can be scrolled, click, right click or double click or moved. Yes or no? These are the certain actions related to your event mouse. What are the actions? I can scroll the mouse. I can click on it. I can move the mouse. Yes. Suppose if I take keyboard as an event, what are the things I can do? Press or release. That's it, no? For typing, I'll be pressing it. For not typing, I'll be releasing it. Right? Press or release. These are the two actions related to my keyboard. Are you able to follow me? Event means it is a thing to be done. So in our Java, we call event as a program in an operating system that will result for an user to a task. So something should happen in your GUI that is known as your event. So user pressed the key is an event. Button got pressed, that is an event. Mouse is got released or your window size is precised or increased. That is also an event. So we are having certain events to be handled where each event is prescribed in a one or the other interfaces. We will be looking them in detail. So Java provides adapter classes which simply creates the event handling certain situations. So this adapter will take all the methods related to that event and the listener will listen to the action and the interface will automatically update one or the other method and it will give the output to you. So an event has to be occur in the program. That appropriate listener will listen and its attached method will get invoked and executed for it. Okay, in your GUI. So event handling. User clicked a button, user closed or resized the window. The events can be handled by the event listener. Then there will not be any action to be taken. Event handling mechanism is very, very important, which will be handling all the events without having any allegations in it or deliberations to it. Delegation event model. Three entities are there in the event handling. The event, source of the event, and the event listener. Event means what is the thing you are doing. Then the source of the event, what it is doing. And the event listener, what it is doing. So allegation event model relates these three entities into a well-defined standard process. Whenever source generates an event, it's sensed and noticed by the listener. The listener handles the event then and there itself. Okay, the delegation event model enables the user to implement the code of event handling as a separate set of code. The process is as follows. The listener registers with the source to receive the event information. That means the listener has to register. When the user gives an input or an appropriate action for it, or some kind of event to be performed, then the listener has to receive the information from the event. Then the event will be get done. How they are done? By the event classes. What is this event classes? It already handles a source and the listener among them. Okay. Event class is an hierarchy. It is shown as below. Yes. These are the event handling, action event, adjustment, component, item, text. Usually we implement key event, mouse wheel event. Okay. It comes under component event. So first java.lang.object, java.util.event object, java.awt event, followed with action events, adjustment events. Under the events, we are having we will focus upon key event, key release the, key type the. And special keys are there, shift or control. We doesn't have to be done anything, but their ASCII values come into the picture. Those are not that much important. Usually we'll just see upon the key pressed, typed or released. Am I typing it or am I pressed? Only I just pressed it, or did I remove the hand? Commonly we'll focus upon this. So event class, what are the things are there? Action event, adjustment event, component, item, text, container. Under the component only, we will see about the keyboard, mouse, and all. So always remember the event listener interface. Under action event, what are the event listeners and what are the methods to be overridden? What it will be doing, what in turn, what it returns back to the method. So here, action event means action listener. What action it got performed. Key event, key listener. Key pressed, key typed, key released. What kind of key is pressed? What kind of alphabet is typed? What kind of key is released now? Item event means item listener. Whether the item set staged or not. Mouse event means mouse motion listener. That means is mouse moved, clicked, scrolled. Such kind of actions we'll be getting into the picture. So in order to implement such kind of event handling programming, we should write the Java code which implements the action listener. So we need to implement the action listener for implementing the event handling, right? So first of all, before implementing the action listener, all methodologies, we should generate a text area for it. That means a layout should be there in which where we are able to see our output. So we need to type that and create some things and about it. In the text area, whatever has been created, we have kept one button called close. When I click on that close, that window will be closed. When I click on the another one, like add some text area, add one button or add visible, whatever I am writing, is it visible or not? Is it can be viewed or not? Once you perform a click, you will be getting one statement like button is clicked. Once you are typing anything, the button will be telling like button typed. When you release the button, automatically it shows that button is released or is button released. Such kind of statements will be generated according to your event. So please look at this example. First, note down how it's get implementing, from which listener I have to take. What is the layout size I have to fix? Is it having any area to be entered into it or not? I have to verify. Then what are the boundary length? With which thickness of boundary I have to give it? Those things I have to specify in the program, followed with the what kind of field you want to add it. What was the name you want to give it for the button? Want to visible. Okay. Please have a look about it once. 1 minute. An important thing is always the execution starts from the main method. So in the main method, I'm invoking the method test, which got described in the class. From there only, the execution starts. So the output for this example is, previously, the output is only this, only click button. When you press on the button, you'll be think like button clicked in the text area, right? You'll be finding this. When you execute it, no, you will feel like something new is happening in your environment. So try to implement such kind of event handling. Okay. In the lab, you need to execute this. Another example is mouse event. Same way, we have just moved an event, or whether the mouse is clicked or whether the mouse is moved. Just I'm doing like this, moving my mouse means it will show mouse moved, mouse moved. Suppose you click on the mouse button, left button or right button, it shows you that mouse clicked. The another example is keyboard event handler. See, you need to write all the dummy methods into your listener. Key pressed, released, enter, exit. From the main method, the class function will be called. From there, the execution will be started. So keyboard, a keyboard test was there. By the frame name, I'm giving it as key listener. Then to that label, I've set certain boundaries. Then in that boundary, I took the text area. For that text area also, I could give some button boundaries to it. Then the key listener to the particular object I am moving. What is that particular object? F. Into that, I want to add the area with some layout, with some border. So once the key is released, it should tell that key has been released. Once the key has been typed, whatever the alphabets you are typing, it has to be visible on the layout, whatever you have taken into your program. Then key pressed or typed. So whatever the key presses, how many words have been generated, how many characters have been done. That means number of characters you have typed, including the space, it will give you the count mark. Don't think that space is not a character. No, space is a character. So it will be getting evaluated. So everything you will be writing under your class by the name key event test. Under that, you have created a frame. For that frame, you have took one border, and for that you have given the name as key listener with borders and all. In that you took one text area. Into that, if you are typing anything, it will just visible with the count of the characters and words. Okay. This is about your event handling. Are you able to follow it?
Yes, ma'am.
One second. I'll just share it again. Next, how many topics are left out? Any idea from your side?
Four chapters, ma'am.
Four chapters. Yes, in tomorrow's class, I'll be discussing about the last topic, that is about swing. For today, I think I've covered enough. Let me share the document again. Yes, look at here. I was able to complete the fourth chapter, JDBC, AWT, and event handling today. Tomorrow, I'll be continuing with the Java visual programming, that is with the swing. So, are you comfortable up till here? Any doubts? So, in the introduction part, I not only discussed about the Java, I even looked into the installation of your Java software into your system. How you need to get connected, what was the class path you need to specify, how you are supposed to execute, how you are supposed to save your file and all. Then after, what are the basic data types precised in the Java, Java operators, and control structures. That means the conditional statements and iterative statements. All we have seen one example related to each and everything. Then the OOPS concept related to Java, that is class, how to create a class, how to create an object. Then OOPS properties like polymorphism, inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction, those things. Then packages and interfaces. Then followed with the exceptions, abnormal conditions or abnormal situations, how we can handle them. Then Java collections, right? In order to implement a collection framework, in each module, different methods from where we will get the predefined methods from the interfaces, right? Then the Java database connectivity, JDBC, ODBC drivers, connectivity with one example. Then AWT, that means, what is AWT? AWT అంటే ఏంటండి? AWT, hello. Are you there? What is meant by AWT? Abstract window tool.
Abstract Windows Toolkit.
In which we will be specifying all the predefined methods or related action methods to it. From where we will be accessing it by using the listeners, which will be implementing it. Okay. AWT and event handling. How many events we have seen? Mouse event and the keyboard event. Under the keyboard, we have seen whether the key pressed or released or typed. Under the mouse, it is clicked or released or moved. Right? How to write a code in the class, how to extend it. That is very, very important. Please go through with the examples. I'll continue it in the next class, the swings concept. Do you have any doubts from your side? Let me take the attendance. Yes, only 12th unit is left. Important
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
I'll give it to your Bhattu sir. Please collect from him. Okay. Anything else from your side? Let me take the attendance. Is there any other class for you now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then please go through with the examples once. Are you comfortable with the operators, conditional statements, and all? Or you want me to repeat that concept? I did not explain all the operators. I took only two. I've explained them clearly. And I told that you need to continue as you have done it in the C. Will you learn all of them?
Yes, ma'am.
All the operators, relational operators, bitwise operators, shift operators. Okay, please go through with all the examples which have been dealt today and be ready for the tomorrow's class. Okay? What is a swing? How it will be helpful for us? We look into each and every concept. You may can leave now there. Who is this Shaik Abu? Please mute yourself.
ये तो हमारे पासपोर्ट का भी करना चाहिए।